has a pile of babies. Look at him with his pile of babies, right? You like that, Grace? I absolutely love being a mom. Spending time and playing with my kids brings me so much joy. Watching them grow, change, it's amazing and very exciting for me. But sometimes I need a little bit of a break, and at that time I will jump on social media and I will look up one of the heart warriors I'm following. Then I see a post. Their little one did not make it. I see all their pictures with the wires, the tubes, the machines. I read about the procedures, and I begin to think, this looks exactly like the pictures I post. Then I wonder, what would I say? What photos or videos would I share? For most people, imagining kissing their child's face for the last time, experience going to a funeral home to pick out a coffin, or just knowing that you will have no more future memories of them dancing, opening presents, is unimaginable. Unfortunately, I know this pain when I lost my twin boys. I was forever changed like these amazing parents, or any parent that loses a child at any age. It truly is just too painful for most people to imagine. I fear I might experience losing a child again, and this is my reality and the reality of parents of having a child with a complex heart defect.
I can't tell the difference between dreaming and awake, and even a new sunrise doesn't feel like another day.
My name is Gracie, and I am the mother of a 2-year-old heart warrior. Mariella Hope turned 1 around Christmas time, and this is when we found out she was going to be a big sister. We could not wait to share the news with my bonus kids, Lexi and Zenzo. At the 11-week ultrasound, we found out that our little Gracie, Joy Gracie, had Down syndrome. I have to say, there's been a lot of joy having a child with Down syndrome. The infant stage in cuddles lasts just a little bit longer, which my heart loves. With the Down syndrome diagnosis, there is a 50% chance of having a heart defect. Put your nose, put your head. You're being silly. So at 16 weeks, we had a fetal echocardiogram. We found out that half her heart did not develop, and she had severe narrowing of the aortic arch. This diagnosis is life-threatening without a series of surgeries, but we were going to do everything in our power to save her life. So it required lots of planning and appointments.
Basically, rather than trying to meet them all one at a time, they had us come into a large meeting, which we just really were not prepared for. It was really kind of overwhelming and intimidating.
Everybody introduced themselves and what their role was on the single ventricle team, and I was kind of holding it together until the point that the palliative care nurse introduced herself, and she spoke in a very kind, slow, compassionate way, but what she was saying just hit home of what the possibility was for our little Gracie. And I just remember her saying she didn't want the palliative care team to be a stranger. If there was an event where we had no choice but to have to consider other options to let our Gracie go.
I did everything in my power the rest of the pregnancy to push away the thought of how sick my Gracie was. On August 20th, Grace decided she wanted to meet her family. It was a fast and smooth delivery, and she looked so healthy. Her cheeks were pink, and she sounded like she had a good set of lungs. I would have never guessed this beautiful baby's life would end in a few short hours if it was not for medical intervention. The first time seeing her little body hooked up to the machines and wires took my breath away and broke my heart, because it was a reality that my sweet little one might not make it with all that she had to face. The nurse moved around all the wires and beeping machines so that I can hold her, and I could not hold back the tremendous, overwhelming emotions.
Asked to have Grace Joy baptized. In doing so, you are accepting the responsibility of training her.
There was absolutely nothing that could prepare me for the morning of the surgery and saying goodbye.
Rep 2217431. She's here for immediate sternotomy, aortic arch repair, PA band, and TE.
They're an indicator of perfusion to the brain and to the kidneys. So the top number.
She's awake.
The NG tube attached to the feeding machine was a real struggle and a very frustrating part of her recovery. I just felt like an automated feeding machine should never be attached to a baby or any human that can't speak for themselves. It was so painful to watch Gracie suffer and gag because the feeding machine could not see she was full and stop.
Who is that?
Who is it?
Is that your baby sister? Candy, do you want to
It was the absolute best having our family together and having her home. She did have lots of appointments and we did have to manage her care, but we still loved every minute of it.
She's going to be a very good girl. I just know it.
We are forever so grateful to the single ventricle team at Luries. Throughout this journey, we were touched by so many wonderful charities, including Saving Tiny Heart Society, the Jackson Chance Foundation, Zion's Army, Ronald McDonald's House Charities, Stuffed Love, and so many more.
As a researcher myself in the physics department at Northwestern University, I can personally speak to the value of having funding from foundations and other charitable organizations. Supporting these kind of foundations can make a real difference toward achieving medical breakthroughs.
For example, right now, there are children walking around with complex heart defects that no one has ever survived into adulthood. These medical breakthroughs can change this. At 15 months, we eventually weaned Grace off the NG tube, even though everyone thought that she would never take a bottle. I learned so much about the process that I'm currently helping others, and I feel like this is an area that could use a lot more research. Gracie's blood oxygen is in the mid-80s, and any respiratory illness can be taxing on her system. So we try our best to keep our family free from any illnesses and still wear masks in public. We are grateful our school-age kids understand the importance. Our journey is far from over. We still have another surgery and possible heart transplant. Having Down syndrome does not put her high on the transplant list. Thank you for all your love and support in saving tiny hearts like Gracie Joy Geracies.